All right, thank you guys. Welcome to Brock Page Productions. I'm your host, Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you really end up enjoying this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up right now by hitting that like button. And if you haven't already joined the Brock Page delegation, please feel free to do that right now by tapping that subscribe button below. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some NBA action. We got it queued up on the big screen behind me. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Heat taking on the Magic, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Orlando. The Miami Heat's -4.5 away from home. Totals 216 and a hook. We're 1-0 thus far in the season in our NBA tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also hitting at 63% our last 54 NBA tier package picks dating back to last season. So this is a tier that we've had great success in over the past couple of seasons. And if you want to join the community of over 775 handicappers that are signed up and active on my page, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And when it comes to this Heat Magic game, Orlando's plus $170 for some money line cash. Now, Orlando's lost 9 out of their last 10 ball games, taking on their fellow Eastern Conference members. The Magic also dropped 11 out of their last 16 hosting the Heat. So if you're into historical trends, just keep that in mind. We're going to use a lot of historical trends in this video here, by the way. And speaking of Miami, real nice season for them last year. Pretty good run in the NBA Finals in the bubble. Could have very well become the NBA champions. They got a great core group of guys. Jimmy Butler averaged over 22 points a night in the postseason just a few short months ago. 7 rebounds, 6 assists a night for the veteran. Jimmy Buckets also was 86% from the stripe, and he averaged a couple of steals a game as well in the playoffs. Meanwhile, point guard Goran Dragic also scored over 19 points a game in the postseason himself, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Now the Heat, they've won 14 out of their last 19 contests against a divisional foe. And when it comes to the total in this one, 4 out of these teams' last 5 head-to-head meetings stayed under the posted number. I'm going to lean toward the Miami Heat -4.5 and the under 216 and a hook in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for NBA action here on a Wednesday. Happy hump day to you guys. I said in my earlier video, normally I would say the weekend is almost here. It's right around the corner, but, with Christmas Eve tomorrow, Christmas on Friday, it's pretty much like a big weekend for the next, 10 to 12 days. But anyway, before we dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, just got to quickly remind you once again, we're 1-0 thus far in the season in our NBA tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also hitting at 63% our last 54 NBA tier package picks dating back to last season as well. And just remember, guys, when you sign up for a membership on Patreon, you get access to all the lesser expensive memberships absolutely free. No, you did not mishear me. When you sign up for one of my memberships on Patreon, you instantly get access to all the lesser expensive tiers absolutely free. The cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. And for those who are wondering what the difference is between my free picks here on YouTube and my Patreon website, what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you as I break it down and focus on the, I break down the daily card and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way in smaller sample sizes versus wagering on every single game that's on the slate here tonight, side in total, like I do here with my free leans on YouTube. Now, guys, there is a tutorial video right on the Patreon homepage. So if you guys are confused or you really don't know how to navigate the site, it's really easy. If I can run the site, you can certainly navigate it. So once again, there's a tutorial video right on the homepage that shows you how to easily navigate the site. And guys, once again, we currently have a community of over 775 handicappers signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, I'd love to have you. The link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/Brock Page. And with that, guys, we got to dive into some more free content right here on YouTube. I'm talking about the Knicks taking on the Pacers, 7 p.m. Eastern tip. The Indiana Pacers are -8 at home, totals 214 flat. Indiana's won 16 out of their last 18 meetings hosting the Knicks. They're also led by TJ Warren, who looks to get back into some action here after battling injury. Warren dropped 20 points a game last year in the regular season, 4 rebounds, and a couple assists a night for the forward. And it also looks like we should see Domantas Sabonis back in action. He scored 19 points a game in the regular season last year himself. Dozen rebounds a game and 5 assists for the big man. Now they are taking on a Knicks team who may have to go to work tonight without a couple key players, couple role players. I know a couple sites have Noel listed as questionable, Tilakina. I think there was a couple sites out there that have Austin Rivers listed as out. But anyway, guys, the Knicks have averaged just 101 points per contest in their last 10 head-to-head meetings with the Pacers. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, New York saw 8 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with the Pacers stay under the number. Meanwhile, Indiana finished their 2019-2020 campaign with 7 out of their final 9 ball games staying under the posted total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Indiana Pacers -8 and the under 214. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Wizards, Sixers, 7 p.m. Eastern tip at the Wells Fargo Center in Philly. Now, Philadelphia is -7 with the total at 230.5. The Sixers are on a 7-game winning streak when hosting the Wizards. It's also the start of the Doc Rivers era as head coach in Philly. He's got plenty of solid pieces to work with. Joel Embiid averaged 23 points a game last season, a dozen rebounds a game, and 3 assists. And Tobias Harris also played in 72 total regular season games last year. He scored 20 a night, along with 7 boards and 3 assists. Now, the Sixers are taking on a Washington team who finished their 2020 campaign losing 7 out of their final 8. Looks like standout star Roy Hachimura is banged up a little bit as well to start the season here. And in addition to losing their last 7 straight in Philadelphia, the Wizards have lost 6 out of their last 9 meetings with the Sixers at any location. Now, total-wise, 6 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings did get over the posted number. So with all that said and done, we're going to go ahead and lean toward the Philadelphia 76ers -7 and the over 230.5. All right, next contest I have for you, it is going to be Charlotte versus Cleveland. That should be a real exciting one, and that's going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Now, the Hornets are the 2-point favorite on the road. Totals 215.5. The Cleveland Cavs are plus $1.15 on the money line. Now, the Cavs have a slew of guys either listed as out or questionable. A good amount of key players on that list. So keep an eye on the injury report before tip-off if you're looking to, fire on this game. Now, the Cavs, they've also failed to cover the point spread in 8 out of their last dozen against the Southeast Division. They're taking on a fairly healthy Charlotte team who looks to, have Gordon Hayward get the start tonight. Hayward has scored, he scored 18 points a night in Boston last season. 7 rebounds and 4 assists a night for the forward. And Devontae Graham also dropped over 18 points a game along with 3 rebounds and 8 assists. Charlotte has successfully covered the point spread in 4 out of their last 6 against Cleveland. They're also holding the Cavs to just 105 points a game in their last 10 head-to-head meetings as well. Now, total-wise, when it comes to the scoring in this one, Charlotte's 5-0 to the under in their last 5 games against a Central Division opponent. Meanwhile, Cleveland saw 6 out of their last 10 meetings with the Hornets stay under the line themselves. So as I told you earlier, a lot of historical trends for us in today's video. Give me the Charlotte Hornets -2 and the under 215.5 in that contest. Haven't sneezed much in the videos. We don't do that all that often, do we? Anyway, you don't talk much, do you? Anyway, moving on. Pelicans versus the Raptors. 7:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Toronto. The Raps are minus 3.5. Totals 228 and a hook. The Raptors have taken 9 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with the Pels. Just 105 points per contest the Pelicans averaged in those meetings. Now, Freddie VanVleet averaged 20 points a night in the postseason a few months ago. 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and a couple of steals a night for the shooting guard. Kyle Lowry also scored 18 points a game along with 7 rebounds and 6 assists in the postseason himself. Lowry also averaged 2 steals a night as well. Toronto known for occasionally stepping up and playing some really good defense. Meanwhile, New Orleans on the other side, they lost 6 out of their last 8 contests in the bubble to knock themselves out of playoff contention. The Pels, they failed to cover the number in 4 out of their last 5 meetings with the Raptors. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, 8 out of New Orleans' final 10 games of the 2020 season stayed under the posted number. Meanwhile, Toronto is 7-0 to the under in their last 7 games against the Southwest Division. I'm going to lean toward the Toronto Raptors minus 3.5 and the under 228 and a hook. Next contest, it is going to be Bucks versus the Celtics. Should be a good matchup here. Potential Eastern Conference Finals matchup. You never know. But anyway, Bucks versus the Celtics, 7:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Beantown. Milwaukee's the 4-point favorite on the road. Totals 224 flat. And if you like the Celtics in this matchup here, they're plus $1.60 for an upset win. Now, the Celtics have lost 8 out of their last 10 meetings with Milwaukee. The Bucks certainly have had their number recently. Thompson's currently questionable for Boston, and the Celtics have also failed to cover the point spread in 5 out of their last 7 meetings with the Bucks. And speaking of Milwaukee, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's back. He scored 27 points a game in the playoffs this past season, 14 rebounds a night, and 6 assists for the Greek Freak. Chris Middleton also averaged over 20 points a game in the postseason himself, 7 rebounds and 6 assists for the forward. Now, Milwaukee has been an exceptional regular season team over the past couple of seasons, and these are actually the types of games that the Bucks get up for. They typically, thrive in these big regular season matchups. It's kind of where in the playoffs where they tend to crumble against teams like this. But anyway, regular season games like this, they do well in. They also held the Celtics to just 107 points per contest in their last 10 head-to-head meetings. And when it comes to the number in this one, Milwaukee's gone 14-5 to the over in their last 19 contests at the Garden. Meanwhile, Boston saw 6 out of their final 8 contests in the 1920 season get over the line. I'm going to lean toward the Milwaukee Bucks minus 4 on the road in the over 224. Next contest, Thunder versus the Rockets, 8 p.m. Eastern start time in Houston. Now, this game is currently off the board right now. A lot of weird stuff going on in Houston. Houston was minus 7 a couple of hours ago when the game was actually posted. But anyway, just check your bet slips on your betting apps or at your local brick and mortar to see if your wager on this has been voided if you placed it earlier. Looks like a lot of weird stuff going on. To be honest with you, Houston's kind of been like a drama-filled dumpster fire in this offseason. Lots of trade drama with Harden. Westbrook shipped away a bunch of guys on the injury report right now. Looks like the reason this game's currently off the board is because Harden was caught at a strip club recently. Well, there was a video that came out, and he was at a strip club. And it's debatable whether it was recently. They don't know what time he was there within the year. And it's debatable whether he was observing COVID protocol. It's a nightmare. But anyway, OKC has been one of the best covering basketball teams in the league over the past couple of seasons. They've also successfully covered the number in 7 out of their last 10 meetings with Houston. And they also held the Rockets to just 108 points per contest in those games. That is no simple task. Now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 19 points a night during the regular season last year, 6 rebounds a game and 3 assists. And Dennis Schroeder also scored 19 a game for the Thunder, 4 rebounds and 4 assists for the point guard. Now, total-wise, OKC's gone 13-6 to the under in their last 19 meetings with the Rockets. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward OKC winning this one outright in the under if that number opens up within reason. Actually, we'll call it OKC against the spread. We're going to go OKC against the number, regardless of what it is, and the under if that number opens up within reason. All right, next contest, it is going to be Pistons versus the T-Wolves, 8 p.m. Eastern start time in Minnesota. The Timberwolves are -6 at home, totals 224.5. The Detroit Pistons are +$2 for an outright victory. Now, Detroit has taken 8 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Minnesota, believe it or not, and they held the Timberwolves to just 104 points per contest during that stretch. Now, the Pistons have also successfully covered the number in 7 out of their last 8 against a Western Conference opponent. They're taking on a T-Wolves squad who failed to cover the number in 8 out of their last 10 meetings with the Pistons. Minnesota also lost 9 out of their last dozen against the Central Division. Now, total-wise, 7 out of Minnesota's last 8 contests with Detroit got over the posted number. I'm actually going to lean toward an underdog in this one. Give me the underdog Detroit Pistons +6 and the over 224.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Spurs versus the Grizzlies, 8 p.m. Eastern start time. The Grizzlies are the 2-point favorite at home. Totals 230, juice to the over. San Antonio's +$110 to win it. Now, DeMar DeRozan led the Spurs with over 22 points a night last season, along with 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Also, can't forget about LaMarcus Aldridge, who also scored 19 points a night in the regular season, 7 rebounds and a couple of blocks for the big man. Now, the San Antonio Spurs, they are taking on a Memphis squad who failed to cover the number in 6 out of their last 7 against the Southwest Division. Like I said a couple times earlier, really going, these teams haven't played yet this season, really going heavy on the historical trends kind of to, back our plays here. But anyway, they also lost 6 out of their last 8 contests hosting San Antonio. Now, total-wise, 6 out of the Grizzlies' final 8 contests of the 1920 season stayed under the posted total. Meanwhile, the Spurs are 5-0 to the under in their last 5 against a divisional opponent themselves. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Spurs +2 in the under 230. All right, next contest, another barn burner. This should be a good one. I'm talking about the Hawks versus the Bulls. 8 p.m. East. The Atlanta Hawks are -2 on the road. Totals 232.5. Remember this date. The Hawks were favored on the road. But anyway, Atlanta's got a slew of key players on the injury report. They've also lost 8 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with the Bulls. Chicago, on the other side, they're led by Zach LaVine, who scored 26 points a game in the regular season last year. 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a couple of steals a game for the guard. Of course, Lauri Markkanen also averaged 15 points a night in his 50 games played. 6 rebounds and a couple of assists for the 7-foot forward. Now, the Bulls averaged nearly 119 points a game in their last 10 ball games with the Hawks. They also went 8-2 against the spread during that span. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Bulls +2 and the over 232.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Kings versus Nuggets, 9 p.m. Eastern tip-off in the Mile High City. Now, the arena used to be called the Pepsi Center. It's now known as the Ball Arena, I think. It's what I'm reading. Anyway, if you guys can confirm that, let me know in the comments section below. Denver's -7, totals 226 flat. The Nuggets successfully covered the number in 7 out of their final 10 ball games of the 1920 season. Took care of the Clippers in the playoffs before falling to the NBA champs in the Western Finals. They were very competitive with the Lakers, though. Denver, typically very good at home, whether it was the Pepsi Center or the Ball Center. Altitude seems to kind of affect the other team. Now, Jamal Murray averaged 27 points a game in the playoffs this past season, 5 rebounds and 7 assists a night for the guard. And, of course, Nikola Jokic also scored nearly 25 postseason points a game himself, 10 rebounds, 6 assists for the big man. Just a competitive player, man. This guy is really gritty. But anyway, they're taking on a Kings squad who lost their last 6 straight in Denver. Sacramento's also lost 8 out of their last 10 meetings with the Nuggets at any location. Just 103 points per contest they averaged in those games. And when it comes to the total in this one, 5 out of the Kings' last 7 outings with Denver got over the posted number. I'm going to lean toward the Denver Nuggets -7 and the over 226. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Jazz versus the Blazers. Should be a good one here. 10 p.m. Eastern start time in Portland. The Utah Jazz are minus 2.5 on the road. Totals 226. The Portland Trail Blazers are plus 105 for an outright win. Now, the Blazers gave up 116 points or more in 8 out of their final 10 contests of the 1920 season. And as good as Dame Lillard was last season, I'm not so sure chucking up 70 shots a game and not playing defense is a winning formula against a team like the Jazz. It's just doesn't seem like it's a good winning formula. But anyway, Utah is led by Donovan Mitchell, who scored a staggering 36 points a night in the playoffs, 5 rebounds and 5 assists for the shooting guard. Meanwhile, COVID man himself, touching all the microphone, Rudy Gobert, he averaged 17 points a night along with 11 rebounds in the playoffs himself. Total-wise, Utah's 6-2 to the over in their last 8 against a divisional opponent. Give me the Jazz minus 2.5 and the over 226. Next and final matchup for the show, Mavericks versus the Suns, 10:30 p.m. Eastern start time in the desert. The Mavs are minus 1 away from home, totals 233. Luka Doncic scored 31 points a night in the playoffs, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Darn near averaged a triple-double in the postseason. Tim Hardaway also scored 18 points a game along with 4 rebounds and a couple assists. They're taking on a Phoenix team who's got a handful of guys on the injury report. And despite going an incredible 8-0 straight up in the bubble last season, I think they made up some trophy for him, like the bubble champions or something. But anyway, despite going 8-0 straight up in the bubble last season, still wasn't enough to make it into the postseason. Total-wise, the Suns have gone 5-1 to the under in their last 6 versus the Southwest Division. Give me the Dallas Mavericks minus 1 and the under 233. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap, once again brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 1-0 thus far in this season in our NBA tier package picks, off to a good start. And we're also hitting at 63% in our last 54 NBA tier package picks dating back to last season. I like Miami minus 4.5, under 216 and a hook. I like the Pacers minus 8, under 214. I like the Sixers minus 7, over 230 and a half. I'm also leaning toward the Charlotte Hornets minus 2, under 215 and a hook. I'm leaning toward the Raptors minus 3.5, under 228 and a hook. I also like the Bucks minus 4, over 224. Now we're going to go ahead and lean toward OKC covering the number against Houston and the under in that game. It's currently off the board, but looks like we're going to lean toward OKC and the under in that one if those numbers open up within reason. I also like Pistons plus 6, over 224.5. I like the Spurs plus 2, under 230. I'm also leaning toward the Bulls plus 2, over 232.5. I like the Nuggets minus 7, over 226. I'm also leaning toward the Jazz minus 2.5, over 226. And last but certainly not least, please give this video a thumbs up right now if you enjoyed it. Give me the Dallas Mavericks minus 1 and the under 233. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs. And from our from our YouTube platform, shout out to Polo Paybon, Kevin Taylor, Darius McNeil, Roberto Sanchez, Renisha Brown. Shout out to Go Bills, Howard Marvell, Anthony Castillo, Ant Ruga, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to Chase718. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind, we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. If you guys sign up for a package here today, just keep in mind that all the lesser expensive memberships on Patreon are free with your purchase. So if you purchase an Underdog tier package today for $4.99, all the memberships that are cheaper than that are absolutely free. They're included with your purchase. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And it's actually Christmas Eve. I looked it up. It's Christmas Eve. But anyway, happy hump day to you. Happy Christmas Eve. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.